But let's start with needle sizes. You can see the packet will have numbers on them. You've got two numbers here, that's American and European numbers. And the lower the number, the smaller or finer the needle. Now the size of the needle is actually the robustness of the needle, how strong it is. The finer the needle is for the fine lightweight fabrics, and the more robust will be for the more robust denims, etc. If you look at these two needles here, you can see one of them is quite fine and thin, so that would be a fine needle to work with voiles and chiffons, and the other one here is a thicker needle, and you'd use that for denims, canvas and multi-layers. Let me show you what happens if you use the wrong needle. On this silk here, I've used a large needle size, a jeans needle, and you can see how it's pulled. It will leave holes, it will look really ugly, and it can cause drags, it can cause snags. So it's a really good idea to make sure you use the right needle for the fabric. Let me go to the sewing machine and show you using a fine needle on a heavy denim. Now I've put in a size 6 needle here, and I'm going to sew. It will sew, I won't tell you a lie, it will sew. But what can happen is you can get skip stitches. You can bend the needle, it can break. It can really be difficult to sew. So again, the idea is that you use, so it's not moving forward, it doesn't like it at all. The idea is to therefore use a denim needle with denim. Now here's one I've done earlier. This is a needle, I'm going to see if you can see this close up. This is one that was sewn, a fine needle on thick fabrics, and it's bent. If you see that. Now what can happen with a bent needle is that it can go down into the feed dogs, it can hit the plate, it can hit the side of the presser foot, it can actually break it inside the machine. So there's quite a lot of damage that can be done. So I can't stress enough, right needle for the right fabric. Now, types of needles. There are 3 main types: universal, ballpoint and stretch. So looking at this bundle I've got here, we've got hem stitch, triple needles, ballpoint. So when you've got a ballpoint needle, it can also be a specialist twin needle. Universal, jeans, sharps, these are for microfibres, and things like chiffons. Stretch, for stretch jerseys, for knit fabrics, but a stretch needle differs from a ballpoint needle because it's for two-way stretch, things with lycra or dance materials, and ballpoint for your general stretch materials. Lovely, lots of different needles to work with. But let me show you what it looks like when you stitch with the right needle on the right fabric. So I've got a 75/11, that's the 2 different sizes for US and European. And I am stitching on a cotton fabric. I'm just doing a straight stitch. And it's going to stitch beautifully smoothly with the top of the stitching on the top and the bobbin stitching on the bottom. And this is using the correct needle, so I won't have any skip stitches and I won't have any broken needles. So just a perfect row of stitching. But what if I had used the wrong needle? Let me show you what it looks like if I had stitched with the right stitch on this jersey fabric, but I'd still used a universal needle instead of a ballpoint or stretch needle. Can you see there are skip stitches? And there's some bird nesting on the back. So this is what can happen using the wrong needle.